Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to April 30th video here. It's another one talking about what kind of implications we have on the world and how it affects us. And that, it seems to be the reoccurring theme. And yesterday I was watching a video on a well-accomplished mainstream Pentecostal preacher that I like a lot. And he really pulled up and shown me what he believes, and it really matches up. In the Bible, there was a time that we're actually kind of similar to where we're at now. Um, Today's issue on what can get you in some trouble with some God is the shedding of innocent blood. And we're going to look in First Kings 21 and 22 and see what happens when innocent blood is shed. This is about Ahab, the king of Israel, and his wife Jezebel, and what they end up doing and becoming punished by God with literally their blood with it. And it starts in 1 Kings 21. And it came to pass after these things, which Nebaioth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, in which in Zeriel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spoke unto Naboth, saying, Give me your vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near my house, and I will give thee a better vineyard than it. Or if some good to thee, I will give you a worth of money into it. So, as like similar times today, we'll see it oftentimes. They've got laws that say, hey, if the city thinks that they can do better with your land, then they'll try to see if they can take it, give you some money, or do something else so that they can get it to enrich the community, which sometimes makes sense and that can help, but sometimes it's misused, like as in this case. Nezabeth and then Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid me that I shall give the inheritance of my fathers into thee. And Ahab came into his house heavily displeased at the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee down the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou hast eaten no bread? And he said to her, Because I spoke into Nazboth and the Jezreelite, and said to him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I'll give you another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give you my vineyard. And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Nazboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Nazboth. She wrote the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Nazboth on high among the people. And the two men, sons of Belial, before him, bear witness against him. Thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And they then carried him out and stone him to death, that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were inhabitants of the city, did as Jezebel sent unto them. And it was written in the letters that she had sent to them. They proclaimed a fast and set Nazboth on high amongst the people. And there came in two men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Nazboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Nazboth did blaspheme God and the king. They carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones, that he died. At this time, Israel was into other gods, so they were worshiping the pagan god Belial at this time. And my understanding of it, Nesboth would not do that because Nesboth was a Christian and followed, or Jew at the time. He was the one that followed the God of Abraham, to say it correctly. Um, and then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Nesboth is stoned and dead. And it came to pass that Jezebel heard that Nesboth was stoned and dead. And that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise and take possession of the vineyard of Nesboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Nesboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass when Ahab heard that Nesboth was dead, and Arab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Nesboth the Jezreelite and take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down and meet Ahab the king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he's in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he's gone down to possess it. And thou speak to him, saying, This saith the Lord, Hast thou killed and taken possession? And thou hast spoken to him, saying, This saying the Lord, in the place where the dogs licked the blood of Nesboth, shall dogs lick thine blood, even thine. And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee because the Lord has sold thyself to work for evil in the sight of the Lord. Behold, I'll bring up evil upon thee and take away their prosperity. I will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and that him that has shut up and left Israel. And I will make thine house like of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and the house of Baasha, the son of Azah. For the provocation within thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And Jezebel also spoke of the Lord, the dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel, and him that dieth in Ahab's city, in the city the dogs shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. But there was nothing into Ahab which did sell himself to work of the wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel's wife did stir up. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to the things that he did. The Amorites, who the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass, Ahab heard those words, and rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fastened, and lay in sackcloth, and went softly. And then the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, See, thou hast Ahab humbled himself before me. Because he humbles himself before me, I will not bring evil in his days, but upon his son's days, and I'll bring evil upon the house. And then we go into 1 Kings 22, 34, and 38. It goes through where Ahab goes out to battle and tries to hide himself. And when he tries to hide himself, a certain man ends up drawing a bow and shooting him. It goes 22, 34. And a certain man drew a bow at venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Therefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, Turn thy hand and carry me out of the host, for I'm wounded. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at that even. And the blood ran out of the wound in the midst of the chariot. And there went a proclamation through the host about going down to the sun, saying, Every man in his city, and every man to his own country. And so the king died and was brought to Samaria, where they buried the king in Samaria. And One washed up the chariot and the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor, according to the word of the Lord in which he spake. And now the rest of the acts of Ahab, and all that he did, and the ivory house which he made, and all the cities that he built, are not written upon the books of Chronicles in the kings of Israel. I think it's very ironic too that he has a house of ivory, which is similar to our current White House. It's really shows similar to what's going on today, in that we've got these people now that are shedding innocent blood. The people who haven't done anything wrong, for instance, children that people don't want to take care of, people don't have time for, they end up just shedding their blood and killing them so that they don't have to deal. This is a great warning to those people that do that. We didn't hear anything about Jezebel there, but when I go back here and look in the information here, we do have where Jezebel ends up dying in Second Kings. Let me see here, because it also goes, Jezebel's later thrown off her palace balcony and then trampled underfoot in Second Kings 9:30 through 37. Where we have Jehu comes to see comes to Jezreel, and Jezebel hears of it. She paints her face and ties her head and looks out a window. As Jehu enters the gate, he said, "Has Zimri peace? Who slew his master?" And he lifted up his face to the window and said, "Who is on my side? Who?" And then looked upon him 2 or 3 eunuchs and said, "Throw her down." So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trode her underfoot. And it was to come, he did eat and drink and go see this cursed woman and bury her, for she's a king's daughter. And they went to bury her, but found no more of her than her skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. Therefore it came again and told him, and said, "This is the word of the Lord, which he spoke to his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, In portion of Jezreel, so dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the carcass of Jezebel shall be as dung upon the face of the field in the portion of Jezreel. So shall they not say, This is Jezebel." So it came to her as it came to him, both of them, since they decided to shed innocent blood, that it was worth that. For them to get that land, they ended up having to pay the price, and God took them out for shedding innocent blood. That's definitely a warning for these days and the ones that do that. I found it interesting that also one of the mirrors to it is that Jezebel and Ahab were trying to take land in order to grow their own herb garden, to take over a vineyard that was close to them just because it was convenient. And they wanted to say, hey, this shouldn't be a vineyard, this should be a green garden to us, which there comes a lot of that here in 2020, where we have some people pushing for there to be green areas. Take it away from the people, don't let them have the farmland, just make it into an herbal sanctuary. That and the innocent shed of blood, people going after people and attacking people for needless things, as I mentioned before, killing children and other things of wrath, where they end up killing people who were innocent and didn't do anything to deserve that. Those people will be get retribution, and God will take care of those people who did that. So it's a warning to those who don't respect people who are innocent and don't like innocent lives here. Thank you for listening today. That's my quick uh, reading for today, April 30th, 1 Kings 21 and 1 Kings 22. A message into the nations to respect God's family, take care of his children, don't kill them, don't shed their blood or your blood be spread. I think that's very literal. These people who are giving um, help participating in lots of innocent bloodshed won't have a good death there. They won't be able to be buried whenever they die because they will have horrific accidents and have horrific things happen to them. So they can't be just sat up and honored and like, look how well this person did. Their life will be snuffed out because the Almighty Living God has full control over everything. Thank you for listening, and um, hopefully this new setup is some interesting things here for you. I don't know if I'm going to keep this, but I thought I would try it. I like having Kansas City in the background with my blue screen here. Um, I started a Discord group thing there. I will add more information to it, but it's right there. You can join if you have questions, you want to talk to me about things. If this is on Facebook or BitChute or one of the other websites, here's my Instagram and YouTube so you can check out more things. If you're interested in the religious part of it, when you go to NIPOC, you'll see my renowned plantation links over to the right hand side in my channel. And you can follow that, or you can also check out my NIPOC channel, which will be things that are some alternate viewing things, some good information, some games, some cool, good, hearty fun, without the cussing, without the terrible things going on with it that we have in a lot of media. I want to produce some great things for people to watch and say, hey, this is some material that I don't have to wait for somebody to start screaming JD or GD or JC or F this, F that, because it's gross. It's things that don't really enrich us and we don't need to hear. I thank you for your time. God bless you. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them in a message. And if you like this, please subscribe down there, hit the bell, like this video so I know these are the kinds of things you like. Drop some comments. Tell me how you like the background. Let me know some suggestions. Give some other things with it. Thank you and peace. Shalom.